shoes, with your name plastered at the center of it. Why they mean you like that?
So, fake cryptocurrency platform, Paragonus N, right? That institution is the one. So what they do is that they pick an old interview, and in this case, the first interview they picked was with what they call Uncle Sam Okujato. So they convert it into a narrative of their own, that you were sitting and something slipped. What slipped was that I revealed secrets, Miriam Ondakwa. I revealed secrets of wealth and richness to Sam Okujato, 60 years at the bar. Yes. I revealed secrets of wealth to him, and this secret is related to he having to participate in that cryptocurrency thing, and this one, the Paragonix one.
That's how it works.
They write the narrative that way, and they will say a bit of, then I was arrested. Yes, by the security agencies, because this is top level secret of earning wealth.
Right.
That I revealed as a small part of the things that should never be revealed, because people should not get to know how to make wealth.
Right. So I see.
So eventually the story then defends Raymond's right to freedom with pictures that says the free Raymond Dakwa. Yes. But it's when you combine a fake site, a dubious end with AI, we can easily generate these things. The difficulty is that it appears. And for example, they use a certain, they say I'm very rich. They quote big money with a check from the Jersey Financial Services Commission. First and foremost, that commission is not a bank. I can't have a check with them. So, but they have, on the 20th, the Jersey Financial Services Commission issued a statement saying that people should disregard all such statements, except that locally, I don't know who is supposed to be issuing the statement and also issuing disclaimers. So we have dismissed that. Right. So if you see it, I know I've received like 200 people sending that in to me. And the dangerous part is that these are paid for ads on social media.
Right.
It's not like they just throw something out there.
So they will go far. They will go far. And I've noticed that, you are just the latest in a stream of victims. They tend to target journalists because that matches this narrative of something slipped during an interview. I've seen Bola Ray's name. I've seen a few others, coming up. And it's all the same formula, right? The idea is they are trying to lend some potency to this scheme of theirs so that people will think, this is some secret thing that has been revealed. Let's all get on it.
And the second level is that you should not even click on that link in the first place. They steal your data through that process.
Yeah.
So if you don't get it, they steal your data. If you like, use your iPhone. When you click on it, check the tracking sites that are now following you. That has been blocked by the iPhone.
Yeah.
You get about 60 at a go, which should tell you that they steal and share your data immediately. And if you are not a bit protected, they may steal more than necessary, like we're talking about the other difficulties in the system. So it's something that people should be aware of.
Very careful.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for the education.
The Daily Graphic is now reporting this morning that Students' Loan Trust Fund disburses 20 million to Ghanaian students, and it's one of the stories on the front page, full stories on page 13, and promoting inclusive governance. Winner takes all system must stop. This conversation has been since 2000. I've followed it since 2007. And still we are having that conversation anyway, which is important. One of the reasons why we have terrible politics, the fight, kill yourself and get to be elected. Go and steal money or ask criminals to give you money to get elected. All of them put together. In fact, one of the reasons why we have struggled and we cannot deal with GAM, say effectively, is the financing part. Is the fear that hook or crook have to get into power. So that gives 6,000 people new jobs. 6,000 people, some of them were heavily unemployed. They will get jobs. So that I may make unemployed more than 6,000 who were previously in different positions too. So if you're able to deal with winner takes all, but I did not get the mentality of our current politicians and one that is, more, how do you call it? They are not more to the middle. They do not think that Ghana first is an agenda. They think Ghana first is only within the political party sphere. Now, even within the political parties, you have to be properly aligned. You might be NPP today. If you are properly aligned, you suffer from beginning to end.
I agree with all of them. I heard all the proportional representation and everything. But I also think that as part of dealing with the winner takes it all, we must begin to look at our own thinking. A lot of our problems, okay, come from our belief system, which we always don't focus on. Why? Today, the typical Ghanaian who believes that his uncle gets money, and so he waits for his uncle to probably pass on, or his uncle will take care of him, is there. The typical Ghanaian proverb that says, "Onsune bro no onsuno dokun." And that this other proverb that says, "Amenovime no yokutiji oduagbogbe," to mean your brother cannot be on a tree and you eat unripe fruits. How is that possible? So we as a people, ourselves, we are very, very corrupt. And Dr. Tony Edu, who at the time was head of monitoring and evaluation at the office of the president, told me in an interview that corruption is in the genes of the Ghanaian. If we don't deal with that, look, everything we do, because why are we where we are? That man today is getting into government. Before he gets into government, makes a lot of promises. He gets into government, and all of a sudden, his home becomes, a benevolent center. Every morning, people queue, asking him for money. If you queue every morning asking somebody for money, what do you expect him to do? The solution would be to develop the country, to actually put in place mechanisms that people who cannot afford will be supported by the state, so they don't go and queue up. But unfortunately, even the MMDC, who is not responsible for anything, all he does is to wait for common fund. Today in this country, they wait for common fund before they can embark on the little development that they can do in their areas. I always agree that you should elect MMDCs. I support that they should be elected on non-partisan basis. I am not in for, initially I would have said let's do it on partisan basis. What we have seen today convinces me that we don't need to have them on partisan basis. Let's make it non-partisan. I am all for proportional representation. I don't think it hurts. But in a country called Ghana, Raymond, even to determine how many people will go to parliament in itself will lead to chaos.
Anyway,
I don't want to be a wet rag. I don't want to be the one who kills our hopes. But we keep ignoring the elephant in the room. No pun intended. That there's actually a group of people in this country who will lose if Ghana develops. They will lose if Ghanaians become wealthier. If Ghanaians have a better standard of living, there's a certain group that will lose out. And that's the political elite. They will lose out. I mean, how can they now come and give you a bag of rice for your vote? How can they do that? How can they fill a stadium with hungry people if nobody is hungry? How? How can they fail and still win an election if everybody can feed themselves? So there is an incentive to keep people poor, because the poor are their captive audience. With that in mind, is it a surprise that sometimes even the most simple solutions never get deployed?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, now let me bring in the other story you should be interested in. 32 journalist media houses nominated for awards, and the Multimedia Group is leading with 9 of those nominations.
That's right.
Hopefully all of them will win. There are many who are saying that the best thing to do for this award is to reinstall Erastus Asare Donko as the Journalist of the Year. That is a sensible proposal.
The work speaks for itself.
Yes. Well-meaning Ghanaians agree. Anyway, President Akufo-Addo at the UN General Assembly. President Kamba Security Council needing overhaul. Structure is deficient in addressing global challenges. That is what our executive lead was talking about on, so that's also there, right? And yesterday, as I was talking about the rains, there's a story at the back of the Daily Graphic says, rains cause gridlock in Accra. I think they should just add again.
Yeah.
to the
Well, I saw the videos that Aaron David Andor around Dakuman. My goodness.
he's part of the nominees for the award.
Yes. I've said that award should be named after him.
Yeah. I don't know what time he didn't win it since I became old enough.
No,
but
I mean,
anyway,
last time he didn't win was probably the time he didn't apply.
Yes. And I think he's
And
getting
I
tired
can
of it.
remember impressing up and said, Dave, AIDS the man applied. Maybe we'll be so winning kakra.
A confit to the world.
There is just no competition.
Yeah. So I saw those videos and I asked myself, so what sort of blood runs through us? Look, I someone asked me the last time, sometimes you it looks like you've given up. It's not that I've given up, but
You say it looks like.
yeah, it feels like you've given up. But what sort of blood runs through us? That just this small, I mean, there's this rainfall, and you see all the plastics from our gutters, our drains in this country. I couldn't believe it. I'd wanted to go for a walk, Raymond, last night, but I couldn't. Because the moment it rains, you know what to expect in this part of our world.
Yeah.
And this is not an, a Bokubi or Teman where you see the road is a second or third class road. This is Dakuman. Dakuman here, Dakuman, Tad. And yet, we have found ways and means with dump refuse anyhow. So a lot of the, part of our problem is because we as a people have refused to do the right things. We cannot always blame, the assembly hasn't done that. Yes, I know enforcement is key, but in the absence of enforcement, you should also ask yourself, Adza Miriye.
But in the absence of enforcement, nobody will do the right thing. Go to any country where law and order is visible and evident. It's only because of enforcement.
That's
because
why the
people
same
know
sort of Ghanaians-
these same Ghanaians,
Yeah.
who have put all this rubbish in our gutters. Would they dare to do that in the UK?
Okay.
They won't, because there's enforcement.
Great.
There's consequence. Look, human beings will do whatever they can get away with. That's human nature. We will just do whatever favors us as long as we can get away with it. You cannot you cannot expect alternative behavior. If it is easy for me to throw my rubbish out of my gate and nothing will happen to me, I will not carry it to the nearest dumping site. I will not do that. If it's easier for me to throw it out into the gutter, I will not spend my money to buy a bin. I won't. But if there is a cost, a consequence to not doing it, then I will do it.
And over here, the consequence is your house being flooded. Because you wouldn't do that, Raymond. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't throw your rubbish or your waste anywhere. You would make sure that you actually would keep it and wait for the van or the truck to come for it, right?
Because I know the consequence.
Great. And that's what we're telling everybody also, to know the consequence. Because yes, while enforcement is key, we're also reminding everybody that your actions would affect you. So don't just say, nobody's looking at me, so I would do the wrong thing. Look, the fact that nobody's looking at you doesn't mean you should do the wrong thing. The daily guide for this morning.
Moral suasion for Ghanaians.
The daily guide for this morning says, let our people go, NDC defense protesters. 11 more remanded. Government moves to pay Trafigura. We've talked about that. OBA Westco Pasta production facility begins. And ECG boss resigns is also here. Nana to Grace 28th GJA Awards winners announced is also on the front page.
Nominees or winners?
It says, with the GJA Awards, once they come up with the names, it means everybody's going to get an award.
Right, okay.